Hello and welcome to an all-new Max Chroma video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some interesting things about making pattern images. We're going to use ChatGPT with Dalle 3 to create a seamless pattern, or we're going to attempt to see if it can create a seamless pattern. Now, I had this prompt already that I wrote earlier. A seamless repeating tile pattern featuring pumpkins and fall leaves arranged organically with varying sizes and orientations. The pumpkins and leaves are nestled together to create a dense, non-symmetrical pattern designed in gradients of grayscale shading. The fall leaves are detailed with different shapes and textures, and the pumpkins are scattered throughout the pattern. The design smoothly transitions between light and dark shades, making it suitable for a threshold array for halftoning. We're going to use the pattern for halftoning. The overall vibe is seasonal and autumnal, without any colors, just shades of gray. So if we run this prompt, it's going to attempt to create an image like that, but we're not really sure if it's created a fully seamless tiled pattern, something that would be repeating and tiling. So the thing is we could go online and try to check that. And so here's the image it generated, and it looks like it should work, but then again, we're not really sure. I think it looks like it would, but I don't think it will. So how do we test that? And I can download the image, and then the thing is you could go online and search for a way to put this into a tiled pattern thing, like a program that would tile the image for you. You can bring it into other programs, but this channel is going to be all about making our own apps for things. And this AI stuff, to me, a lot of people are like, oh, it's about programming and doing and making. You're going to try to make software with it, or you're going to then do programming jobs. I really see the whole thing differently, in that it's not like the future is all these situations where it's one app that everybody uses. It's more about everyone being able to make their own apps easily and without having to know a lot of background stuff like programming. You just use the AI to generate the same way that we had it generate this artwork, right? So we're going to do, we're going to actually try to generate a program to test the image and see if we can tile it, right? And so this is why it's an easy thing to show. I want you to see that it's pretty easy to get this stuff to make an app for you that'll run. You just kind of got to tell it to do it as a web app. Like for now, we're going to start with simple things like web apps, because you can create a file that you just open in your browser and it runs certain processes. I'm going to use this GPT-4o with Canvas, and I'm going to just try to write the prompt right now. So I want it to be like this. Create a single page web app HTML file for me that will allow an image file to be uploaded into the canvas area, and then tile the image 9 times so that we can use this as a test to see if the loaded image is actually a repeating, seamless, tiled pattern image. And that's it. I don't think we want to do any adjustments or processing or saving or any of that. I'm just going to try to have it do that. And it just starts writing the code and telling us what it's doing. The thing is you honestly don't have to know all of this code stuff. We're using the AI to write the code for us, right? And all we need to do is know how to turn this into, how do I test this as an app, right? Is this a software app or what? I told it to do a single page file. Let's just read it first. It says, sure thing, here's an HTML file that allows users to upload an image and see if it's a seamless tiled pattern. The image is drawn 9 times to check if it tiles seamlessly. This HTML file allows you to upload an image and see how it tiles in a 3x3 grid on canvas. It helps you determine if your image is a seamless repeating pattern. Let me know if you need any modifications or additional features. The easy way to do this is we're going to copy all this text here, and we're going to minimize, and you don't really even have to use a code editor. You can just use something like Notepad. So I'll just make a new text document. We'll call this, we're going to actually give this thing a name. We'll say tiled pattern tester, and we'll say .html. It's okay to change it. And we're going to right click. We need to do open with notepad. I should have just double clicked it originally to open it that way. And once we're in here, it's just text. So we're going to do edit paste. And then here's all the HTML text. Okay. We'll just save that. And like I said, you could read through this and then try to learn how HTML code is written and how it does certain things in the script part where it's going to use JavaScript and some other stuff. But let's not get into that yet. Let's just see how to test the app with the idea and see if it functions. And the point is to make a single page HTML file so you can run it on your own system without being online. I can just double click this. It opens in the browser. And now I can choose file and I can open this file and test it. But the problem is it's loaded it too big. I think the problem is it's loading it too large. We can't really see how it's tiling together. So what you want to do is go into this 3 dots up here, more tools, developer tools. We just want to see into the console if there's any errors. Now there's no errors, but I can see that this is loading the image incorrectly. It's a 1024 by 1024 image, but the size is not showing us if that worked right. So what I'm going to do is go back here, and I need to tell it that actually it's too big, right? So I'm going to say the image loads, but it appears too large within the canvas area, like it's cropped. I had a 1024 by 1024 pixel image. Can you make sure all 9 tiles of the image will show in the canvas area? And what it'll do is actually go through the code over here and change it. So it's going to start changing the code to accommodate that request. And so it says, I've updated the code to ensure all 9 tiles of the image will fit into the canvas area. This image is now resized proportionally to fit into each of the 9 sections of the canvas, allowing you to fully see the tiling effect. Okay, so all we do is we copy that code. Let's go back to the text. Let's keep this file open. Right click, open with notepad. And we'll get into using code editors in another video here. And I'm just going to do Control A, select all the code, Control V to paste it in or do edit paste. And then we'll do file save. And then we can go back to the tab here that has that open. You could just do refresh or Control R, or you could just double click it to open it again. I might double click and then pull it out into its own tab, just like this. Okay, now let's choose file, bring this in, and there we go. So now we can see that basically it was close to being perfect, but it has like just off a little bit. But you can see the seams, okay? And what seamless means is you shouldn't see it. And we can test that with some other patterns that I know are seamless. Let me just see if I've got one around here. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I grabbed a pattern here. I'll just open this and show you. This is a pattern I made for triangle halftones. And so I know that this thing will tile correctly. And we can go over to our new little app here, choose file. I'm going to go to the desktop and grab that file. And oh, we actually have an issue that it's creating the appearance of seams when there are not seams. I think I know what's happening with this, so we're going to fix that by saying, and let's try to treat it like I don't exactly know what's going wrong. I want to treat it from your perspective, saying, why are there seams? I've tested it with an image I know that has no seams or is seamless when it tiles, but seams appear. Do you know why? Rather than exactly telling you, because I know why it's happening, but I want to see if this thing knows why. Seams that appear might be due to slight scaling artifacts when the image is resized to fit within each tile section on the canvas. This often happens because of subpixel rendering or anti-aliasing, which causes subtle lines between the tiles even when the image itself is seamless. To address the issue, avoid scaling it. Instead of scaling the image to fit within each tile, draw the image at its original size and adjust the canvas size to ensure that the tiles fit perfectly. This will eliminate any scaling artifacts. Disable anti-aliasing. Set image smoothing options to false to prevent the browser from smoothing the image. So if you read through this stuff, you can learn what it's doing, and you could follow through the code and see sort of how it's doing it. And then you'll get to know what to say to it. And I would have already said, hey, it's probably anti-aliasing and not having the smoothing set to false and that kind of stuff. But I wanted you to see the way that you could think through the question and think through the programming and try to run it, test it, and then tell it what's not working the way you want it to work and see if it'll fix it on its own and figure out the problem on its own, right? So we're going to copy all that code. We're going to go back here. We're going to select all, edit, paste, file, save. We can go back to the software, Control R to refresh, and we have our app back here again. Let's choose file, let's run this through and test it, and there we go. So that's how one that's truly seamless should look, is we got 9 copies of it, but I can't tell where they are. This is just like the triangle halftone pattern. Or the cool part is it looks like cubes almost, like the old game Cubert maybe. Okay, so let's go to choose file and run that other test we had again from the downloads folder, this right here. And here's where you can tell that it still has the seams, but they're harder to detect, right? I'm using control to zoom out the entire image, control mouse wheel. And when you do control mouse wheel, that zooms in or zooms out the entire web page. So you can still do some zooming. And so the issue is I can zoom in and see that where these line up, it's kind of noticeable, but it's pretty close. For an AI generation, without it being specifically designed to do tiling like that, you almost can't see the seams from a distance here. And so this one might work as a halftone pattern where you wouldn't really see the stuff in between it. Okay, so that's really just all I wanted to show, is that we can start creating apps very easily. And the cool part about this type of app, when it's a web app that runs as a single page file, the entire app is the file. And you don't have to do anything else. You don't even have to be connected to the internet. You also don't have to run it in Chrome. You can use certain other browsers that are like offline. You could set it up so that the browser is never even going to connect online. But you don't really have to be online to use this app. So you just double click it, open it up in the browser, choose a file, and let's go into, I had a few other tests that I did today with these like sort of Halloween style patterns. And so here we go, Halloween art patterns. And let's just see how these work. Okay. Yeah, this one we can tell there's some seams along. Yeah, you can sort of see where it's like mirrored image there, and there's like a black line with that one. Still fun that it can do that pretty easily. I'm going to go in here, choose file, and let's do this ghost one. That one's pretty cool. Okay, but we could just see where it's like essentially cropping it off a little bit wrong there. Right? But it's pretty close. It's pretty amazing that it can do this. I've used another AI generator before, Midjourney, and some other ones that are specifically set with some tile options. You can run these tiled patterns. Let's do, I think we did this one already. Let's see this one. Oh, this one kind of has some lines in it already in the art, so it's kind of like you can't even tell. And is there another one? Oh, I did this one. Right. Should zoom these in too. Okay, so we tested all those already. Let's just try to have it generate another one and test it. So this is what the point of this video was. We can generate seamless, we can attempt to generate seamless patterns. I'll say, please make a new one with ghosts and skulls. And it gets what it did in the previous prompt, and it's going to redo it with the new idea. And then using the other part of ChatGPT with this canvas thing where it'll just setting up the code on the right-hand side, we can use some prompts to generate something that we can work with the image, even just for testing it. But I want to show you guys with these videos You know, you can do the stuff on your own now using very simple, and you don't even have to use the paid version of ChatGPT. You can use the free version to do a lot of these coding examples. So we're going to get into this stuff, and it's really like, it's not about the software and all the other things that I'm selling. It's about, I'm trying to teach and show what I've learned and how it's given me a lot of freedom to make this software that I want to make, and just for the various things that I like to do. And it's not really about making some sort of one size fits all app for everything, or, you know, something that everyone's going to use. It's more like, you now have the power in your hands to create what you want to create and build what you want to build. And I'm going to try to show you how I do that. Okay, so here's this image. It's pretty cool. Download that. Go to our tester. And if we don't want to zoom in and out, keep doing it like that, we can go right to this. We can say, okay, it's working great. Please add a simple pan and zoom ability with on the canvas, so we don't have to use the main browser zooming and scrolling to see it, and zoom in to look at the seams. So it's going to change it a little bit there. And what we'll do is use the new version. So it's editing it. It's going down here, making the changes, adding some new code. Okay, that's done. It's probably going to tell us what it did. We're just going to go up here and copy the code. Go to our text file, Control A, and then Control V to paste it, and Control S to save it. We'll go back to this, Control R to refresh it. Okay. Choose file. Let's go to the downloads, put this in here. There we are. Oh, the zooming and panning is actually kind of broken. Yeah, it's pretty much broken. We're gonna have to fix that. Okay, let's refresh it, and let's just look at the image, choose file, and I'm gonna do Control to zoom out. Okay, so you can see this one still has the issue where it's got the lines in it, right? What we're going to do here is just say, yeah, the panning part's broken. Okay, the pan and zoom is broken. Please make it work more simple. We'll give it one more chance to fix that. But it's really like, you can start basic, you can build things up slowly, and you can just get simple stuff to work at first, and then we can try building on from there. Let's just copy this and paste it in, save it. Go here, Control R, choose file. Okay. Oh, there it's working now. Yeah, okay. Yep. Now we can zoom out with the mouse wheel and pan this around. I could scroll back up on the main thing and Control to zoom out like that. So we can see we can move this whole thing around, the 9 tiles of it, and using the mouse wheel we can zoom in on a certain area. So that's really all I want to do, is be able to look at this and see, okay, that's where the tiles don't line up, right? Okay, let's reset that. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for this video. We're going to get into some more stuff in the next videos. We're going to try to find some other AI that might generate perfectly tiled patterns. I know you can do it in some of the other open source ones. And I know you can do it in Midjourney. I've got some that I've done before that way. You know, and maybe I'll just try to test that out. Give me just a second, we'll do that. Okay, so we grabbed a few that I know are, they should tile correctly. I'm going to go back to our applet. We'll double click this, open it up. Okay. I just want to be zoomed in kind of like that. Okay, want to choose file. And so we're going to test this skulls one. And let's zoom out the whole cam. So I'm control the zoom out as far as I can there. And then this we can zoom out and see. Yeah, I mean, it really tiles correctly. If I zoom in, it looks like just a little bit, but then it goes away. So it's probably just an error of how it looks. Right? See a little line right there? But when I zoom in, that goes away. Oh, just barely. So I think it's just it's just a rendering error, but really that creates a seamless tile. Okay, let's go and try the other one. We really could fix the way we have to zoom in and out on that. And so it's really what you can do is you can say it's not working the way I want it to. Make the whole canvas viewport so it's constant size that fits on screen, and make the zooming out centered on where the mouse position is. Also be sure that it's always preventing the seams from showing. From render errors. Keep the smoothing off. And that should fix it up a bit. We'll see. And really, you just watch it go through and write all this stuff. And then we will do copy. Okay, we'll go here, Control A, Control V, paste, file, save. And we go back to our app, Control R. There we go, seamless tile pattern tester. Choose file. Let's do this one. Okay, and we can scroll to zoom out. Nice. And this one looks like it really does have those lines in between. Like it wasn't quite perfect, but I don't know about that. I don't think it does. I think it's just an error. So let's just go back and tell it one more thing. Make it so we can zoom out much farther than the current limit. And just make sure it renders smoothly where the images tile together. I still see some faint lines, but let me just double check that that's actually happening with the other one. Let me choose file, go to this one. Yeah, see, now you can just really see the lines. Yep. In the previous version, they only showed up sometimes, but now they show up all the time. Let's choose another file. Let's go to this one. Yeah, so we know that the seams are showing up when they shouldn't. Yeah. Even on a perfectly seamless image. So actually it was working better before. Just did. And the little lines only showed up sometimes. Just let it try to figure it out, right? Don't try to get into all the little details of what you think it should do, because we're doing this stuff like we're not a programmer and we don't know all that background, and we're trying to see what can this stuff do for us. What's the least amount that we have to put it together, and then we get something we can work with. And so here we go. Let's copy this. Control A, Control V, and I'm just saving over it right now. We could be saving different versions and keeping track of which ones worked and which ones didn't. I'll just go right here, Control R to refresh it. Let's use that image as a test. And yeah, okay, so it's It's just doing that line in between it, right? So it's showing seams even though we know there wouldn't be. Okay, we still see seams between the images. So try to make it done in a way that still would perfectly tile the images if they would look that way, and we would only see seams if the images aren't perfectly set up with the content. We don't want any seams showing up because of all our rendering and panning and zooming. Started happening when we introduced the pan and zoom. And we'll just go from there. And we'll just let it go through, try to fix certain things. Yes, okay. Let's see what it does. Copy that in, paste it here, save it, go to our thing, Control R to refresh it, choose this guy. Okay, that looks good now. They still show up when I zoom in a bit, but they weren't at first, right? Oh, man. But I think it's like, it's not terrible that you see the seam. It's almost like you want to see it if you're going to be testing if something can seam or not. And now look at, we got the whole thing filling the entire area. That's pretty cool. So we can choose a file, go to the downloads. Let's look at this one. Okay. And so I think it's like you can kind of tell that it would work good, but we just need to get rid of those little lines. Let's look at some of the other files. Desktop. I put them right in here, tiled. So a lot of these were made with Midjourney, and they're done in a way that we shouldn't really see much seams in them. Yeah, see, these ones are really good, and it kind of is helpful that I can see those little watermarks that it does. So this is a little bit helpful that we can see the lines actually, because we know where to look for them. And if once we zoom in to a certain point, okay. See how sometimes they disappear. So it's a good indicator that it would be truly seamless, but it's kind of cool to look at it and see, yeah, wait, that is perfect. You would notice it a lot more if it was off. Let's do a different one. Yeah, see, it's almost hard to tell. I can see where it's getting messed up, right? Yeah, so that's, this is an interesting thing to see that sometimes you'd want the tile lines there. We could put a checkbox in to have it like it checks and puts the tile lines in. Okay, let's look at some more of these. Yeah, see, it's pretty impressive when it gets it right. That one's interesting, this texture. Okay, what else do we got here? Yeah, really fun. See, this one I can, oh man, the lines are making it, give it away a bit. Yeah, you can see somewhere that's off there. Okay. Let's look at some more. Did a lot of these like star pattern tests. Yeah, you can totally see when they're off, right? But sometimes a pattern from a distance, you don't see that it's off that much. We're going to really experiment with this stuff. And the whole reason I was getting into this was because we now can load custom patterns into Screen Tone Eternal, the software I've been working on for a couple years now. And we can then halftone things with the custom patterns. And so I wanted you to see how to generate custom patterns in AI and then test them. Let's do another one. Make a new one with more Halloween themes. And then we can test using this new applet that we made, whether it's going to be working out that it seamlessly tiles well. And then we can bring those in and use AI generated images to do to change the colors around of the art. And we can also use, let's download this, the AI generated patterns, and then convert images into these patterns using that as a halftone pattern. So let's go to our app, choose file, we'll go to downloads this time. There we go. Nice. So you can clearly see where this is not tiling, and I think that really DALL-E 3 isn't set up. It'll do images that look like they would, but then, and if it's zoomed out from a distance, the pattern is still kind of cool, but you can tell where it doesn't line up. And these other ones I remember running using Midjourney. So it was, some of these AI generators can output tiled seamless patterns ready to go. The other thing I've got is a lot of these pattern images already. And so that's what I've been doing, is making a lot of interesting stuff out of where you can seamlessly tile, and then you can use that as a halftoning pattern. And let me see here. It's really just like some of the other ones I had done before, like these round dot patterns. Let me just copy that out there. But I was experimenting. I think it was actually back around like Valentine's Day. I was experimenting with doing like heart-shaped halftone patterns and dots. And so I'll show you a little bit of how that would work with these ones. And so I'm going to be testing and trying to do stuff like that with skulls too. Let's just open up this tester, choose file. We'll go to the desktop. I'll show you like this halftone pattern. Okay, so that's kind of like what a halftone pattern looks like before it's converted into the different dots for the different shades. And really, I gotta fix that seam there. Okay, let's choose this. Go to this one. So you can see this pattern I made with just all these hearts. And this one, same sort of thing. So it's like a big pattern, but what you can do is you bring this in and put it over another image and use it as a halftone pattern. It's pretty cool. And then we'll go and change and look at this 45-degree angle one. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here. I've shown you a bunch of cool things about seamless patterns, generating some patterns, and creating a little test applet. How we're going to use AI in all these different ways to pretty much just liberate the ability of you to make what you want to make. Right? It's not really about using these things for jobs or using it for money or any of that stuff. I really don't think it's about that at all. For me, this is, people want to create their own things, and sometimes those are tools, not just really images or artwork or all that content stuff. We want to work with the content. And so we'll use the AI to write code to create tools that we can work with the images also. And that's what I've been doing over the past few years, building the screen tone software, is just making it so it can do all the things I always wanted image processing software or artwork software to do. It's getting into a whole bunch of fun areas, and we're going to show that in the next videos as we keep going. I just wanted to introduce you guys to sort of my workflow and what I'm doing each day, what I think about, and how I'm trying to share with you how to do these things yourself too. And just starting with these very simple things, like you're asking it to make a web page that does something with an image, we can sort of start from there and build on it and work on it. And you're going to see in more of these videos how it's never perfect, and you always got to work back and forth with it, but that's part of the process of creating and crafting something. And it's not just like the AI does it all from scratch perfectly. You couldn't really write the prompt to do everything you needed to do all at once. To do that, it would get complicated anyway. But when you start simple and you just build simple, we can learn, and we can learn what we need to learn only as we go. We can build what we want to build and try to work back and forth with it when it's not doing the things that we need it to do. But you're going to learn along with me. I'm not going to always do this stuff as if it's a And I'm not a programmer by nature or originally by any kind of teaching and stuff. I had to learn all these things on my own years ago through digging into stuff. And it was only once we got things like ChatGPT that it was just much easier to learn and much easier to find the answers I was looking for, and easier to code things together and start putting the bricks together. It's kind of like you're using the AI to build the pieces, and then you're going to be the architect that puts it all together into something. So anyway, we'll conclude the video here, and we'll just go and really get into a lot of fun stuff now going forward. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber or a viewer or a customer. And, subscribe if you want to get notifications of more videos. Hit like if you liked it. And leave a comment if you have any questions or you want to see more stuff. Thank you.